Yeah, so we operate a 60,000 square foot warehouse, like let's call half of a Target. And usually at a massive disaster, we probably have 300 volunteers come from the diaspora. Here it's been 2,000 people have been coming per day, outpouring. So our warehouse is completely full. We had to get more space, and then now we have to get more space. So now we have a total of about 200,000 square feet of warehouse space in Miami. But collecting aid is actually the easiest part. Where you have to be an expert at is setting up the infrastructure inside the country to be able to properly deliver it. So that's why I'm here. We've already set up warehouse space now inside Venezuela, set up all the vehicles, flatbed trucks, everything that we need to properly deliver this, and set up the chain, working with the State Department, working with the U.S. Embassy to be able to receive cargo planes on this scale, right? Because you're going to have to be sending, we have our first cargo plane that arrives later today. We're going to be sending 2 to 3 cargo planes per day, probably for the next month. And that's a lot to manage.
That sounds like so much to juggle. Have you actually been to the affected areas yet? What are you learning about the crisis now that you're on the ground and can see it up close?
Yeah, so our team's been on ground zero. I've been working with the logistics behind the scenes. What I'm hearing from my team, who's operated inside Gaza, who's operated inside Ukraine, is that it looks like Gaza and Ukraine. It looks like wartime. You know, we operated for 2.5 years after the Turkey earthquake. There's very similar feel to the situation, just buildings that, weren't very structurally sound that completely turned to dust and collapsed. And you have this situation where you have, tens of thousands, if not more people, under that rubble right now. There's amazing search and rescue efforts going on, but it's not enough. But everybody's doing what they can. I think 24 countries have come to send their SAR workers to date.
And I heard one survivor say, Michael, that there's 2 crises, there's 2 disasters that are happening right now, the earthquakes and then the inability of the Venezuelan government to actually respond to the needs of its people. Is there a sense among those on the ground that they've been abandoned by their own government? And what does that mean for the need for international help?
Yeah, well, on a positive note, I think the U.S. Embassy has worked really hard facilitating and getting all of our professional, search and rescue teams from around the country and all the good organizations, right? There's tons of good organizations here right now, World Central Kitchen. Everybody is here. So it's familiar territory. It's also historical because in 2018, when we were working, in Venezuela, we weren't operating in Venezuela. We were operating in Cucuta, right? When people were coming over because of the restrictions, it was very difficult. So the mere fact that we are all here together, we're all experts. We know what we're doing. We're in every disaster, we're allies. And that's what matters. And we're the ones that are going to come through for the Venezuelan people and do everything we can. We're going to be here for years. This isn't a, jump and go. Everywhere we operate, we're still here. We're still in Ukraine. We're still in Gaza. We're still in Hawaii. We're still in Texas after the floods, with offices, with teams, with support. And that's what we'll be here in Venezuela. And this is a long, long haul. There's this phase of it, and then there's going to be a stabilization phase. Then there's going to be, a kind of, rehousing phase. We're going to have to figure out where to put all those people and come up with really good programs. So there is a lot to do here, and we're going to focus on the positive and do everything we can.
And Michael, what is it now that you're on the ground that you see that people need the most right now and maybe don't have yet? What is it for those affected that they need?
I mean, emergency supplies, right, stabilize a place and prevent it from too much chaos going on, right? You remember what happened in Gaza when it was suppressed for a while, right? Then there's looting and all that stuff. So that's what the aid, that's its main purpose. Let's call that 60 to 90 days. It was the same thing after Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica, where we were by far the importers of aid in that situation. So then we have to figure out now, how many available units there are, right, in Caracas. And there's a lot, actually, because about 30% of the population moved away from here and moved out. But there's renting, and there's a lot of regulations that don't work for landlords. But we have to figure out a way to use the existing housing inventory here and put everybody back in those, because they're not coming home. Otherwise, they're going to be homeless for the next years to come.
Michael Capone there on the massive international relief efforts that are right now underway in Venezuela. Thank you so much for your time.